Now, you know me. I'm always telling stories about Africa, Rhodesia, as it was then. Mongo, Zambezi River, crocodiles, tigerfish, and so on and so on, eh? But I have a true story that I've never told anyone. All my stories are always true. I'm not a bullshooter. I tell the true story because they're normally more interesting than the rubbish, okay? Now, I'm going to take you back to my youth. Started round about when I was 13, 14, 15, And that, believe it or not, is now 60 years ago, eh? You wouldn't believe it looking at me, eh? I'm more than 60 years old. But I am. It's true. Now, let's get back to the story. Yeah. When I was about 18, I had a reputation as a crack shot. You know what a crack shot is? You get your rifle, you throw it into your shoulder, you see, and you fire, and you hit what you're aiming at. That's a crack shot. Not just once. You've got to do it many times before you become a crack shot. And I had a reputation as a crack shot. I also had a reputation as a big game hunter. Yeah. Well, the two go together, don't they? You can't be a big game hunter unless you're a crack shot. Anyway, I had this reputation, you see. And on one occasion, I know I'm stuck now, I was a big game hunter then, but I don't approve of it now. No. I don't like big game hunting. It's not good, eh? But this is 60 years ago, this is what it was then. And the story I'm telling is true, and you got to tell the truth, If something's true, you got to tell the story. You can't just avoid the truth, eh? You can't just say, oh, it didn't happen. It happened. So anyway, now go back to the time when I was off on a safari. Now, when you go on safari, you have to get a license to shoot things. You can't just walk around shooting without a license, It's rubbish. No, you have to have it. So I had this license. And on the license, you got, for example, you might have a couple of springbuck, a duiker, a warthog, etc., etc., etc. But the main ambition, the biggest ambition of any game hunter is one of the big five. Yes, a lion, rhinoceros, elephant, leopard, and buffalo. Now, on this occasion, I had purchased a license to bag a lion. And the greatest lion you can get, if you can get it, is a black mane lion. One of those glorious creatures, with the black mane. Yeah. Anyway, I had this on my license, and I'd been out for 5 days, but I hadn't seen nor hide nor hair of a lion. I'd used up all the other things I was allowed to shoot, but I hadn't seen a lion. I was heading back to camp on the 5th day, man, and I was really quite depressed, a bit gloomy. I had my rifle on my shoulder, holding it with a barrel and a stock over there, and I was walking nonchalantly, thinking, God almighty, I've been here, I got a license, and I haven't seen nor hide nor hair. They must have heard I was coming. I had a reputation. You ask anybody, you say David, and they say, oh, yeah, I know you all. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm heading back, and the sun's going down. One of those glorious, African sunsets, purple and red and orange, and, just lovely. But in spite of all the beauty, I was very upset. I was walking along, and the birds were going down, getting into their nests and sleeping, getting ready for sleep, the chirping getting quieter and quieter. And now I heard a sound over there. The sound was fairly familiar to me. Gat-a-ta-tum, 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 gat-a. I knew what it was. Crikey, so I ripped my rifle off my shoulder, thrust it in, whirled around, And sure enough, there it was, a lion, and truth to God, it was a black maned lion, the biggest black maned lion I've ever seen, and he was coming at me like a train. Now, I'm looking at him, and I can see him. He's snarling. You can see just his nostrils coming at me like that, you see. So I take a bead on him, and he springs into the air at me. Now, I was ready for that. I knew what he was going to do. So I went down on one knee, and I took a bead and fire! And he sails over my head and lands there, almost silently. Pa-pum, pa-pa-pa-pum, pa-pa-pa-pum, pa-pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Gone. I'd missed him. Crikey, if I was gloomy before, now I was totally disconsolate. I was in a realm, the slough of despair. My reputation was in tatters and shatters. So I'll go back to the camp. I sit down and I'm staring at the floor in despondency. But I said to myself, you know, Dave, you're not like this. No one ever got anywhere else staring at the floor, did they? No, staring at the floor's no good. You ask anyone, it's no good. You don't do that. So I pulled my shoulders back and I said, right, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up bright and early and I'm going to go and practice my sharpshooting. So I did. Got up early in the morning, filled my pockets full of cartridges of bullets, and I went out into the bush with my rifle. And I started practicing sharpshooting. Now, the way I did it was to chuck my rifle into my shoulder, whirl around and fire at a leaf, but not the leaf proper, not the leaf, at the stalk that joined him, because that was a smaller target. So that's what I did for hours. Ba-ba! 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 Firing. Now it comes the end of the day, eh? And the bush is just littered with leaves. Everywhere you look are leaves, disassociated from their stalks. I'm telling you, not one leaf did I hit. Now, it was the same time as yesterday, you know, the sun going down, the birds tweeting away and getting to the nest and the lovely sun. But I wasn't like yesterday. Now I was very happy. I'm telling you, I held my head high and I put my rifle back on my shoulder and I knew that my reputation had been restored. No one else knew that because they weren't there. But my crack shot was in order. So I'm heading back to the camp. And I hear a noise. It had areas of familiarity about it, but nothing I'd ever heard before. Kadoom. Kadoom. I thought, what's that? I never heard that before. And I'm experienced, you know. I know these things. So I'm walking towards this clearing, which is about 50 meters away. And I open the bushes very quietly. And I peer in there. And what do I see? I see my friend, the black maned lion, practicing shorter leaps. Shorter leaps.